Hello, good morning. It's 8 o'clock on the start of a Friday. Glad you're with us for Second Cup. TGIF, doesn't it feel like this has been I feel like I say this every Friday. Hasn't this been the longest week ever? It really has been. I'm so done with it.
We do say that every Friday. It's tough because I tried to stay up for the Sabres game at the new player yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm all excited. So I'm like, oh, let me stay up. And by second period, we're losing. My eyes are closing.
That's when he scored too, right? In the second?
He scored in the first,
okay.
on the power play. So that was great. It's like, yeah, all right, energy, let's go. And
Bowen Byram.
Yeah.
So
knows goals. That was good.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was traded this week, and already on the ice. What does it take to even do that? I mean, do you have to learn a whole new playbook in 2 seconds, or are you just playing?
It's funny you said that because I was thinking the same thing. I said, well, we practice so much, and you always hear about the system.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who was sick Wednesday, flew to Nashville, said, hey, guys, I'm Bo.
Right.
Okay, you're going to play with this guy. His name's Rasmus. And just, go in the right spot. He's flying all over the place. He looked fine, so I don't know.
I feel like that takes a lot of mental fortitude to kind of figure that all out. Let's say good morning to everyone who's here with us already. Grace, good morning. Lauren and Susan is here. Danielle, Linda, Della, Danielle, another Danielle. Peter, Megan is here from Olean, Sherry, Cheryl, Paula, Sandra, Jason. Glad you're all with us. My mom is here.
Jan.
Okay, so let's talk. Let's talk politics. One of my favorite things to
Your
talk
favorites.
about. As you're waking up, did you watch the State of the Union last night? And even if you didn't, because Lord knows there were other things on TV, i.e. hockey.
So I was watching hockey.
Or, you had shut-eye to get. Thank you. What do you want from your politicians, from your elected officials, from the president, whomever that person may be in 2024? And what is your biggest concern moving forward? Forget who's the president. What are you thinking about going into this election cycle? Are you thinking about the economy? Are you thinking about immigration? Are you thinking about a woman's right to choose? Are you thinking about whatever? Tell us. Want to hear from you. Shirley, good morning to you. She says, Biden seemed pretty hyped up, like he was on something. Okay. Sandra, good morning to you. She says the border is her biggest things that she's worried about. Linda says, I switched from Sabres to the Address. I liked what he had to say. Grace says, oh my gosh, she had 4 years to do something. Sarah says she wants life to be more affordable. Daycare. Oh, that's a huge point, right? Student loans, groceries. It's not easy to be a millennial. I feel like it's not easy to be anyone.
I was going to say, it's
nowadays.
not easy to be older adult either.
Right.
Yeah, that the taxes are looming now in like a month or so. So that's all hanging over our heads as well.
Megan, glad you're with us. She says immigration, food, gas prices, taxes, to your point. Sarah says we need to focus on the economy. Diane says money being sent to other countries when our country is going down the tubes and the border. So the president directly addressed the war in Ukraine, and he spoke specifically about aid to Ukraine. He also spoke about Israel, but says that, Israel needs to basically be aware of the human rights issues in Gaza as well. I mean, there was just a lot of tough talk, it seems. Speaking of older generations, Robin says that she wants the person in charge to concentrate on seniors. Danielle says women's rights, government should not tell us what to do with our bodies. Jason says, I just want lower prices on food and rent. Della says, nope, seen the highlights. Republicans stop being ignorant to what they know they were wrong doing. Della, I wonder, maybe dig in a little bit more. Shirley says, absolutely, the border grocery prices are unbelievable. Grace just says everything. I'm bringing up everyone's voice here, including Jeff Baker's, who just says simply blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's one of those things that it is a tradition within our own country that the president gives an address and tells us about the State of the Union. Yeah. Now, was this more important years ago before social media and, all of the Twitter journalists out there, or is it still important to you? And this was important for the president, personally for him, because this is the only time really before the debate that he's able to address voters and talk tough, trying to win them back. He walked in last night with a 38% approval rating.
38%, huh?
It's pretty low.
So that's 62% who disapprove. Just saying. That's interesting. That's interesting. Like I said, I didn't watch. I figured I'd get it on loop this morning as working in TV and hearing all about it, and then getting to sit here hearing about it as well. So I think you hear in the comments, it's kind of
split.
As I say, yeah, you're either with, it sounds weird, you're either with them or against them. There's really no gray area. But here's Elizabeth saying economy all the way and some better leadership. She usually votes Democrat, but he's saying it's a joke. So it's interesting to see where people fall. It's tough to find. Like you said, like I really do try to look at every different angle and try to look at different pieces and not go in, with one view. But you click on social media, and you'd be like, whoa! You think, oh my gosh, this guy, just did something horribly. And then it's like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. So
I know,
it's got to be some happy medium in there. Yeah.
Howard says, I'm most worried about losing democracy, period. Further, the human rights need to be addressed, i.e. a woman's right to choose and the border situation. Julie says, thanks for putting it in so I can understand it. You got it. Grace says the homelessness in our country comes first and our veterans come first as well. Adrian says address and follow through on an affordable healthcare plan, food, decent and safe housing. And I feel like a lot of Americans are kind of on the same page too as Howard. I wish we had a different choice than either of the two people who are likely going to be facing off come November 2024.
Yeah, I mean, we're in early March right now. 8 months to go? It's interesting to see that it's going to be the rematch that I don't know many people wanted because, we've already been through this. So it is interesting to see how things are going to play out. Maybe a third candidate does emerge. Kennedy seems to be making some waves, but I think it'll be fascinating to see how it plays out. I'm not really someone who gets into politics. I try to just stay out of it. But I know you
love it. And I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah, you think it's fascinating. And I follow like a fringe follower. Obviously, I vote in every election. I think that's a huge importance. And, one of the rights that a lot of people went to great lengths so that we can have a fair election. So I do that. But it'll be interesting to see if a third candidate does kind of emerge where people like Howard said, wow, these are our two.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I love Jeanette's comment, though. At this point, I'll vote for the candidate that gives us 3-day weekends.
Hey, I'll run on that platform. Jeanette, yeah.
Linda says, age doesn't matter. It's how strong a mind you have. 50 could be old, too, if you don't have the knowledge to do a job. And then Elizabeth kind of just puts it bluntly, both choices suck. Give us some options, she says. My mom, though, she's with you, Aaron. And then Marguerite says we need a charismatic, intelligent, and younger third candidate. And then Patty says we can't have 4 more years of this. And then Barbara, good morning. It all starts with the elected and appointed officials in the audience last night. If they don't learn to work together, nothing will change.
And then you see a lot of them who are not going for re-election, who are just like, I'm out of here.
Brian Higgins was one of them.
I was going to say, Higgins is a great example. Feel like whether you like him or you don't, he did do a lot of work for Western New York. He's in charge. The waterfront doesn't happen without him. So that's a fact. And someone like that is like, you know what? I'm out. Like it just seems like you say the sky is blue and it is, and like everyone disagrees with you. And you're like, what is going on sometimes?
It's really, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And Barbara kind of hits the nail on the head. This is about governing a country. And really, it's not so much what the president can do per se, but it's what Congress can do. And it's both sides really working together.
But, at the end of the day, you vote them in.
Right,
and,
exactly.
Like, it's tough to complain about the things that are happening when a lot of, these are the people we voted for.
Brittany is so funny. Electile dysfunction. This is why I love Second Cup, because you people always come up with the best stuff. That is hysterical.
Go off the rails a little bit sometimes. That's funny.
Okay, let's switch subjects here, because Marguerite wondering about the weekend forecast next weekend. But before we get there, we have a little bit of a changing forecast this weekend.
Yes, and okay, here's a topic that I am passionate about. I can talk about today. Temperatures in the low 60s. The record high today, 65 degrees by Sunday. Snow is likely. Temperatures in the 30s. So check out your weekend planner. Low 60s on Friday, clouds on the increase. Rain on Saturday, snow on Sunday, as temperatures will be tumbling as we get into the second half of the weekend. But we do bounce back next week. We're back to near 60 for the middle of next week. Still too early to say what's going to happen next weekend, but we are trending with milder temperatures. Now, I know you and I, Edward.
This is so cool.
Yeah, we talked about this. So the weather department did this yesterday. We were talking on our Zoom meeting. Hey, we need to do something to commemorate the month away from being a month away from the April 8th eclipse. And so we went back the last April 8th since 2006. How many times have we had clear skies?
Zero.
Zero. Yeah.
Okay.
So 0% of the last 18 have been clear. Mostly sunny 3 times, partly cloudy 3 times, mostly cloudy 10 times, and completely overcast 2 times. But you go mostly cloudy and overcast 66% of the times, which climatologically does line up about 70% of the time on April 8th. You do have mostly cloudy to overcast skies, and that's played out over the last 18 of them. So here's hoping that we have mostly sunny to at least partly cloudy skies, and that's about a 34% chance.
So what, I mean, okay, so I guess we can't really look ahead that far.
No, and anyone who says they can, it's not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if probabilities line up, it would be a little bit cloudy.
Yeah, it's why most of us during March and April leave,
Mm-hmm.
because this tends to be just the gloomiest time where you have the day like today, 60. Yeah, as soon as I'm out of here, I'm going to go run. Like today's one of my big run days for my training. And then Sunday, oh, that's an indoor day.
So let me ask you,
Yeah.
because you're the scientist here, if it's still cloudy, will we be able to see the eclipse?
There will be some impact. Yes, it will get dark because like the street lights will most likely pop on.
Oh,
during
really?
the eclipse. Yeah, but cloudy, rainy, you're not going to see much.
Mhm.
All right. So if we have complete overcast, like if we have a day like we're having Saturday,
Yeah.
that would be the worst case scenario. I don't think you'd see much of it.
Cold, snowy, gray.
Saturday's rainy and windy. You're 50.
Okay.
Yeah. But or if we have a day like Sunday.
Right.
And hey, anybody who's been here any length of time knows that March and April can swing like that. You know, back in 2012, we had that stretch of 80-degree weather.
Remember
Then
that.
after that, it got cold again. So that happens this time of year. But right now, we're just trying to stay positive and hope that on April 8th, the weather will be nice.
Well, here we are a month away. 4 days prior, the Maid of the Mist opens.
Now, I wonder if you can buy tickets for the April 8th.
I'm sure you can,
Because if you want to, like, get on there now.
right?
I mean, that would be so cool. There's going to be a ton of people there. Go early. You already got your ticket. Get on the Maid of the Mist with the falls right there, and hopefully you get to experience the eclipse in its full magnitude. Oh, that would be
Wouldn't that be awesome?
unbelievable.
Connie, good morning. Glad you're with us as well. Okay, so Connie says she saw my clip on the dentist. She wants to hear the secret recordings. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about what's going on.
I saw
here.
it too, and I said, if Ed ever shows up uninvited, don't answer the door.
Katie tells Paul that all the time too, believe it or not. Isn't that so funny? Okay, so Katie, not Katie, she's off. She'll be back on Monday, by the way. So the story about the dentist is
crazy.
yeah. So this dentist, according to a whistleblower, gave a pregnant patient the anesthesia that she was not supposed to have.
Okay.
So as a pregnant person, sometimes doctors say don't have epinephrine.
Okay.
And so when you go to a dentist and you're pregnant, you need doctor's clearance. The doctor said no epinephrine, but yet, according to the whistleblower, that's exactly what he used on this pregnant patient.
Just because?
Because he said he needed a profound anesthesia, but never told the patient, and then says on the record to this former medical assistant, who, by the way, recorded the entire conversation, says, I have no idea what you're talking about, but off the record says he knows exactly what he did and said what he did is not allowed.
He said that.
He said that and had no idea he was being recorded, it seems.
I'd imagine,
So,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So here we go. So epinephrine from a dentist. Yeah, so when given a specific kind of oral anesthetic, it's called Septicaine.
Okay.
It has epinephrine in it. And so what could it do? It's like a vasoconstrictor, and it's very medical, very technical. I'm not really, I don't want to get into that because I'm not a doctor. But the reality is
Just
they
playing
don't
one on
want
TV
it.
today.
Thank you. They don't want it to affect the mom or the fetus.
Well,
It could
yeah.
spike your heart rate.
Yeah.
And that could be a big problem. So Jeff Baker says he would need a dentist himself to replace his teeth. I assume you mean if that happened to it. So Connie wondering, did something happen to the patient or the baby? No, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
But, the reality is she feels it could have affected the baby, and had she miscarried or had something happen to the baby, she would have thought it was her own fault had she not been told what was going on here.
And her doctor said no to that.
Correct.
Oof, wow.
So, okay, Anita, thank you. See, there you go. It raises your heart rate and changes your breathing. Jason, wow, he should have followed the patient's wishes. No kidding. And then Julie says he's so busted. Yeah. Brittany says, dang, Ed, you're pulling out all the big words today.
I know.
Paula, is this a local dentist? Yeah, he's in Lackawanna on South Park Avenue. So, yeah, this is kind of Howard's point. The reality is we never really know what we are getting sometimes for our help from our healthcare people.
And we talked about that too. We had a meeting. Remember a couple of weeks ago with the opioid?
Yes.
That came in, and sometimes you don't. You need to advocate for yourself. I know when I've great dentist who I think is awesome, so I switched to him, and he's been fantastic. But if you don't advocate for yourself, or if in your gut you say something is wrong, but it's a doctor, so they must know.
Right.
Don't stick with your instincts on something like that. So it was really eye-opening to see this, eye-opening to hear what they had to say, because a lot of times younger generations seem to advocate for themselves more.
Right.
So they're, with the technology, they can, a lot of us Google our symptoms.
WebMD, right?
But they're not afraid to speak up, where sometimes the older generation's like, oh, no, they're an MD, so I will do everything they say. And even if it's wrong.
So Connie wondering how many others did he not follow directions, as well, is what she's saying. That's a great question. That was one of the points that this patient brought up. So I spoke to the patient, I spoke to the whistleblower, I tried confronting the dentist. He had no comment, but as I mentioned, and you now know, he had a lot to say on this secret recording. So more and more will be coming out in the coming days. The story airs Tuesday night at 6 right here on 7 ABC. Okay. And I mean, it's going to be one of those stories that I think will have a lot of people talking.
I has a lot of people talking this morning, and it's like Tuesday 6. Okay, I gotta wait till then.
I know. Well, it's gonna be posted online on Monday too. So, okay. But more and more will be coming out on Instagram.
Your little clips on Instagram. Yeah. I saw it yesterday. I said, because I noticed you had jeans on yesterday.
Yeah.
I said,
what is he doing?
I know the big guy is up to something. So that's what it was. That's awesome.
Howard says, don't hesitate to get a second or third on something. Della says 100%. Lawsuit. Is the dentist arrested or charged? No, he's still seeing patients. And listen to this.
Oh, this is good.
This is kind of what bothers me most about this kind of a situation. The state knows about him. In so many different instances, he's had his license. He's got a state suspension twice, been given a state suspension, but in getting that state suspension, he's still allowed to practice through that suspension. So
where's the teeth in the suspension?
Thank you. So
you're in trouble, Edward. I'll see you at work tomorrow.
Exactly, right? It almost is like a punishment.
Yeah. Come into work tomorrow. We'll pay you the same. Oh, that is something right there.
So, and then the Office of Medicaid Inspector General knows about him as well. OMIG suspended him from the Medicaid program, so he can't accept Medicaid. And then he had a settlement with the AG's office, the Medicaid fraud unit, for $30,000. But again, this guy is still seeing patients.
Well, that was the settlement. Who knows what happened?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So a lot going on here. And as I mentioned, more to come out on this story. Grace, exactly. So what's the point in suspending? Great question.
Grace?
Yeah. Thank you.
It's like a parent. Go to your room. Or don't. Just go play video games tonight, you rascal. Yeah.
Nancy missed what happened. Okay, so Nancy, if you log on to my Instagram page, you can follow me at Dranch TV. We have a post with a confrontation of a dentist I did several weeks ago for a story that I've been working on now for months, since around Christmas. That will air on Tuesday night at 6. But there are a couple of things being released ahead of time, just to try and make you aware of what's going on here. Kudos to the medical assistant is right. And, look, there are people who, how do I say this delicately?
Want to do the right thing?
Yeah. But on one hand, and then you've got to vet them and you realize, okay, they're just doing this for attention. She's not that person.
Oh, well, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. So for people who don't work with in TV, we get a lot of stuff that comes in.
Right.
And we can't go to every story that sounds like, oh, this is crazy that this is happening. you have to do your research on. And some of this, most of the stuff, I would say, is like, yeah, we're going to just stay away from that because we don't believe this side. But this person, totally legit.
I mean, she came forward wanting to make sure that people are being given the right stuff. She wants to make, her heart is in the right place. She wants to make sure that people are doing the right thing. And
she had no ulterior motive with this one.
No, and to be honest with you, she was let go from the practice. So she's got, I mean, she might have an axe to grind because she was fired, but she says she was onto the guy for a while.
Yeah, that's probably why she's not, yeah.
So there's a little bit of give and take here. Anita says there are people that want to do the right thing and plenty of evil people out there as well. So again, this will air on Tuesday. You know, it's coming out. It'll be out there. Don't worry. Okay, what else do we want to talk about this morning? I got all sidetracked here.
We had a few things.
We did the weather. I'm trying to find John's email here. Okay. The Buffalo Home Show is coming up.
Oh, yes. You go there, and I'm sure this happens to you too. You go there and you're like, boy, my home needs to be updated.
I know, right? And how much money do you think that you actually have to spend? Because the reality is so much more expensive these days. And
they did say that you can get great deals though going this weekend. Like if you're going to find a deal, this is the time to do it. I love outdoor stuff. I love being outside. So those are nice.
Yeah.
See already, I'm like, where can I get those? And it's just so nice to be outside. So I would put any extra money I had into that. But we talked about taxes coming up. So I don't think I'll have any extra this year. But that is such a fun thing to do. And it's at the Buffalo Convention Center.
Yes, correct. All weekend, this weekend and next weekend. And John's going to put a link to 7 other things to do around Western New York in the comments here. Julia is so funny. Julia talked about a fishing and hunting expo.
And said, Edward, this is just for you.
Yeah.
I was laughing. I was like, oh, this sounds really cool. And she's like, Edward. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to see him there when I go this weekend.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Elizabeth wondering, do you have to buy tickets to go? Yes. And so we'll also include, John, if you would, a link to Adam's story that highlights the prices and admission, all that stuff, and then the time and dates. We'll put that all for you in the comments here. Okay. So the story about 7 things to do is going to be posted later, but Adam's story here about the home show is now linked in the comments.
John on his toes today.
I know. Thanks, John.
Thanks,
Appreciate you.
Yeah. There you go.
And then Marguerite says, I was picturing Ed as a big game hunter. I made a joke this morning that it is what it is. I mean, you either know or you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. Like people like to hunt, and some people probably aren't going to be out hunting.
Well, I said I was you know me, a big game hunter, and then I said about bears, and it is what it is. So here we are. Can I put a worm on a hook? I can.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just don't like getting my hands dirty. That's the whole thing. But once they're dirty, I'm in.
See,
I'll go wash them.
In Florida, you fish with like shrimp or bait fish. So I have this new net, so I catch the bait fish.
Oh, cool.
Bring them in, put them on the hook, and still do it for my younger one because I don't want him to cut himself. So
right, exactly. Do you take the fish off the hook?
I do, but now I wear the glove because this finger got how do you say?
Pricked?
Stung by a catfish with the little catfish barb. It was the most painful thing. Well, one of the most painful things I've ever went through. And so now, we went shark fishing, Linda.
How was that?
Oh, it was cool. We went out and when we were in California, midnight to 6 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a bachelor party there too. So it was pretty fun. So the guy goes like, hey, listen to me. I was like, all right. So it's me and Cubby. Let your line go out as far as you can. It was a 2-liter with a thing inside, and let it just go out as far as you can. They're chumming, and we were sitting there, and all of a sudden, my line, which I didn't know, went whoa. I was like, whoa. And they're like, everyone get your lines out. I'm like, okay.
Grab it?
So it was mine. It was like a 15-minute battle with this giant mako shark.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they bring it toward the boat, and then they bring it in. And then they hand it to you afterward.
Wow.
A lot of people, apparently mako is really good eating, so a lot of people took it.
So what did you do? Oh, they ate it. Okay. Did you like put it on like a?
I tried to get the jaw.
Yeah.
But it ended up breaking. It's in my garage in a little plastic baggie.
A little souvenir for you.
But it was fun. It was a battle.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure. Well, you got those snow guns, so. Sherry said they went deep sea fishing and caught a big 12-pounder. deep sea fishing, I've never done this, but they say that it's supposed to be like you get a little seasick out there.
And I had the bands on,
Yeah.
the things behind your ears. I took my Dramamine because I have vertigo as it is, and
Oh,
any
well.
bouncing around the boat is tough for me.
So funny. Hey, we got to get the show on the road. Thanks for being with us. Have a great weekend. See you Monday. Oh, thank you.